Hello guys, welcome to my newest video. It's Professor Forest here. As you already know, Graves has just received some buffs, making him a good pick if you are looking for a carry champion. This game, we will VOD review a challenger Graves jungle from EU West. Graves pick Dark Harvest, even though he will go with a crit build. I recommend going Fleet most of the time. This is more like a matchup specific rune setup because Graves loses to Kindred. She has a longer range, a higher damage and better scaling as well. In order for Graves to win, his only chance is if he can one-shot her, in which Dark Harvest helps a lot. If you want to be updated with the runes and builds, make sure to check out my top 3 best Graves builds after the recent buffs. Also, if you don't want to miss out my best combos for Graves, make sure to subscribe. That video will come this week as well. Now let's get back to the game. Both junglers started red. It's the best start so they can impact the map early, even though Graves is weaker in the early game and heavily relies on items. His ganks are weak and need lanes that provide him some CC because all he can provide is damage, which is not a lot in the early game. But you will see a Graves game with a lot of fights happening throughout the whole game while having high CS thanks to good map rotations and tempo usage. Dread Raptors Krugs standard clear for Graves. This way he can impact the top early and try to put Riven behind, who is Viper, one of the best Riven in the world. Riven heavily relies on snowballing early, so they like to take Ignite, which makes them vulnerable and automatically lose the lane if they can snowball against someone who has TP. Always look to punish that as a jungler. Since we see Kindred is ganking bot lane, we can invade her top side and take the blue back. Kindred died during the bot dive and she has 12 CS and she was level 3, meaning our bot side is still up. From base, most likely she will pet top, so take the blue and then get out. Staying for Gromp would be risky. She spent her gold, meaning she has item advantage. Because Kindred is on top, we want to secure both GRAVES and then fall back into our jungle until we see a gank opportunity. Bot is fighting, so we want to react to that. After you look to recall for the item. Yes, both camps are up, but we are playing for tempo. This way, after reset, we are strong enough since we spend our gold to fight, but worst case, we can clear our camps until we wait for a gank opportunity. He noticed the Kindred mark on his raptors and goes there ASAP, skipping Krugs, which he could do from base, because Kindred's first 3 marks can be on Scatter, Raptors or Grom. But since 2 of those camps are down, it's easy to track that it will spawn on Raptors, just so he could save a few seconds. But if you are against someone else, you want to take your Krugs as well and then pet towards the opposite side of the map. Notice how bot lane is fighting and he skips blue. Now if the gank is risky and the enemy bot is not below half HP, I don't recommend going there, and it's always better to play selfishly since Graves is a really selfish jungler. But if there is a free kill if you skip your camp, then you always should prioritize the gank over the camp. This way he just got 600 gold instead of the 80 gold from blue. When your laner and enemy laner are low on HP, wait in a bush for a few seconds and just like this, considering things you love the enemy laner most likely will do the same in your game. Yes, he used Ezreal as a bait, but this way Ezreal got an assist and he got a kill. Now you would think we fall back to our camps while the scatter grab is up, so we look to secure that from Kindred and use our lead properly and always punish the enemy jungler. Kindred is on top, so we want to get Dragon. She also died, so that's a free dragon for us. Now we could take our bot side and then recall, so we move top for Herald, but since his goal is to play for his bot lane, he will recall, spend his gold and then go back to bot lane. He bought Dirk instead of trying to finish shield bro, and in my video about the best builds, I am explaining the reasoning behind this choice as well. After blue, the enemy bot is playing pretty much under Ezreal's tower and they are half health, so let's impact that lane. Sadly, they can walk away and he's forced to keep clearing his camps, which is fine since now he can pet towards top for Herald. After Gragas' death and him taking Raptors, I would prefer Red over Raptors, but anyway, after his top dies, he can go to Herald. You may ask why. Well, Riven must reset, Kassadin had to reset, and his mid is in position to help him, while Kindred is behind and she can match us alone. But if your laner doesn't have, then force it, just get Scuttle and wait for a better opportunity, fight for Herald while clearing your camps. He could just take Graves and then reset, which would be fine if you did that in your games, but since this is a challenger game, he recognized that the top wave was stacking, which is a great opportunity for a dive. Even if Riven has full HP, if she ever hits one of them with the minion aggro and their damage, she dies in seconds. The dive wasn't executed properly and Gragas died. That's why I don't recommend doing that at lower ranks, because if you also misplay, maybe Riven gets a double kill there. So don't always take the risky dives unless you trust yourself or maybe your duo. You could use Herald and break the top tower just to snowball even harder, but he decides to recall, which I think wasn't the best idea but was a fine idea. Even though I like to break the mid tower more as well since it opens the map more, I think the right decision was accepting the loss on bot and letting Kindred take bot side while you take the first tower on top and take plates as well. After reset, he decided to use Herald mid, which is fine, but as you can see the value is way lower since he can only take one plate and then needs to fall back. Varus must reset here, Drake is about to spawn, Kindred hasn't been on the top side for a while now, meaning her top side should be up and the scatter is up as well. So just give up the Drake and then get her wall top side instead, which is more valuable than a Drake. Even if you get Drake, it's not as valuable as taking Kindred's top side and giving them 300 gold when the chance to outspite Kindred is only 50-50 if they don't kill you before that. After this fight he will keep taking good fights, meaning he will fight with his team when they are in position to skirmish or team fight, and clear jungle camps or reset while his team is farming or resetting as well, so he can be on the map with his team and push the lead forward. So please enjoy the rest of the video. This was the early game macro guide for Graves jungle. I will keep commenting only on the first 15 minutes because for junglers, in order to improve, that's the most important part of the game. The rest of the game is always the consequences of the early game decisions. But if you would like to see full gameplay commentary, let me know. If you found it helpful, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching.